Welcome to our new podcast, The Uncool. I'm Yanling.
And I'm Sean.
And usually in our usual freelance creative exchange podcast, we talk to professionals about how to supercharge their freelance careers. But after speaking to so many people, we were thinking, how did they get so cool? I mean, in order to achieve their successes and fame, they must have been pretty uncool at a certain point.
No matter what kind of successes they have, we get our guests to dish out all the awkward moments that led them to where they are now. Some are even putting the cool in uncool jobs.
So let's go talk to the Uncools.
So Yanding, when you hear about professional wrestling, what comes to mind?
Half-naked people in a ring smashing each other?
Yeah, and then they all have cool names with over-the-top characters and all the likes of that makes the whole thing fun.
So what's your cool name going to be?
Well, if I had a professional wrestling name, my cool name would be the Inquisitor, because I think it's very dangerous and it's very intimidating, and you know, Sean is not very intimidating.
But there must be more to this than just cool names, right?
Okay, so what's your cool name then?
I need to think about this. But maybe our next guest can help me.
Unlike other episodes, for this one, we have 3 guests. And why don't we let the 3 of them introduce themselves?
My name is Alexis Lee. I am Singapore's first female pro wrestler. And I have also former Australian champion and the current CWE Vixen champion, which is like based in America. So I'm international. Woo!
What's up everyone? My name is Sean. In the ring I'm known as Trexxus. I've been wrestling since 2013 and I'm also a former Southeast Asia champion.
Outside the ring, my name is Andrew Tang. I'm 32. I'm the co-founder of Singapore Pro Wrestling. But inside the ring, I'm the first ever pro wrestler of Singapore, the dasher of dreams, the destroyer of destinies, the embodiment of Singapore Pro Wrestling, the emperor of eternity, the 4 times SPW Southeast Asia champion of the world, the statement, Andrew Tang. Yeah!
I'm scared now.
I'm the most intimidating wrestler in the whole of Singapore, damn it!
And you 3 are from SPW, Singapore Pro Wrestling Federation, the first modern professional wrestling promotion in Southeast Asia, and also a wrestling school. That is so cool.
I was very curious though, what were you guys like in secondary school?
I was a prefect.
that is like
Why?
really unexpected, you know.
Why? Think like gangster cannot be prefect. Guess my
Staring down
CCA.
at my
Guess my
age,
CCA. Guess my CCA.
What?
National
Library?
Guess my CCA.
Library?
AV.
No AV. I'm not an adult video star lah. I wish to be lah, but I'm not.
Gardening, sia.
Choir.
Choir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Hey, I'm a beautiful singer, okay?
No, but I was not expecting that.
That's why I thought you guys, before you were cool, like the cool statement, now you're the uncool choir prefect.
Hey, who says I'm not cool at the time when I was a prefect? You know, my school, a lot of gangster fighting, but I'm a pro wrestler. That's okay lah. You know. Funny thing about my story about pro wrestling, right, is that I met my secondary school teacher. Like, apparently, like, after, like, you know, he retired, right, he became a photographer lah. Yeah, then he messaged me out of nowhere on Facebook, like, Andrew, I heard you do a pro wrestling promotion. Can I come and photograph and bring some of my boys to come? And sure, no problem, Mr. Heng. I'm like, sure, you're the science teacher who always, like, you know, was my form teacher. He was like, he looks like Gene Snitsky lah, that point of time. So I was like, always like, Mr. Heng looks like Gene Snitsky lah, yeah, you know. So I was like, oh, pretty cool. Like, he comes to my show, you know, he photographs us, you know, yeah, it's something special to me as well lah. So that's the thing about pro wrestling, like, you know, like all the form teachers start to remember their talent lah, because the other students are all like boring jobs lah, you know.
Mine was every recess would be classroom brawler.
Oh, bad boys bad boy lah.
Good job.
Bad boy lah.
Is that kind?
It's so fun.
Be my
All those
bad
time.
boy, be my.
So I was like, it was one time like I was obsessed with Shawn Michaels lah. So like
You just like giving
Kid music.
my friend at the time would throw a super kick switching music at me. I'll catch his leg. I was like, you gonna throw switching music at me? And I just lifted his leg up.
Oh.
And he cartwheeled me there and fell on one side and dislocated his shoulder.
Oh, bad boy, bro, bad boy. That's the way, bro.
And then he went out like ambulance and stuff. He went out and then he looked at me and was like, I'll be back. Like, whoa.
That's out of nowhere.
That's where his career
What
started.
school did you go to?
It's a rematch.
Which school do you go to?
I'm not gonna say lah. I don't think it's good.
Alexis, share your story, Alexis.
So I was bullied in school. Then that's when bullied. So I started watching wrestling, and then that was when I decided I should be learning stuff, and obviously same, totally ignore the not Chinese at home stuff. So when I had my friends over, I'll be trying moves on them.
What?
Then my mom would suddenly walk in on me on top of my friend, in the submission hall, which totally looks wrong. So wrong. It's just pinning my friend.
Okay.
Okay, next.
So yeah, it's not that crazy story,
Next.
but it's still.
I feel like it should be woo, holding those kind of plates. Woo!
Sorry, you're not beautiful enough to be a ring girl. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. All right.
I'm very, very curious. How do you come up with names like The Statement or Trexxus or Alexis Lee? What is your... What's the whole premise behind it?
So Alexis came about because Mickie James is one of my favorite wrestler, and in the independent scene she goes as Alexis Lee. And then I was like, oh, Alexis is nice. Plus the fact, Alex the Lion from Madagascar and I'm a Leo, so it's the silliest reason why, but it makes sense to me, so it's fine.
So you got your name via a cartoon.
Sure.
And then you
Sounds
come
like
out
a porn star.
I like to move it.
Sounds like a porn star,
then
right?
you come out there and you're this cute.
Out there, baby.
You're like this cute character from Madagascar, and go out there and you start beating up
I like
people.
to move it.
I like to move it. All right.
For me, since young, me, my friends, and my brothers, we were very into the video games. So we will always be obsessed with creating our own characters, and we would always come up with our own names. So for me, it started out as Nitrox for some reason. So I like the word nitro. I just put an X at the back. And after a while, the WWE.
It's not like a coffee.
Really?
Like Nitro Brew or something.
It sounds
some
like
energy coffee, right?
I think with my friends, like my own friends outside of wrestling, they call me Sean, and then when like my wrestling friends call me Trexxus, then they think it's weird. They call you Trexxus, then call you Sean. Then, yeah, it's normal. Then when my wrestling friends us call me Trexxus, I think it's normal. Then when they call me Sean, it feels weird.
Well, for me, it's ever since young, I wanted to be a star. Always wanted the attention to be on me. So it doesn't matter what I do, whether inside the ring, outside the ring, whether in the gym, whether it's dragon boating, whether it's hanging out with the ladies. All I want to do is to leave a statement on everyone's mind. Hence the name, The Statement.
So do you ever go to work and be don't respond to Marie no, my name Alexis.
He introduced me with every and all name that I have. So it's very
Alexis
confusing whenever I'm
Marie,
meeting new people.
Alexis Marie, that
Yeah.
sounds good lah.
So you guys just react to every name right now. If I
Yeah,
call you
it's
outside,
so
or
normal.
statement.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. How is it? The first question will be can't really remember you, but I'll be oh hi. Do you watch our shows? Yeah. That's the first question I'll ask them. Yeah.
So normally this show is about people in the creative industries, freelancers. You guys are unconventionally creative. I think people would really undervalue the creativity and the art of storytelling that goes on in what you do.
Storytelling is so important because at the end of the day, sports entertainment is not just purely sports. The best wrestlers around the world is The Rock, Stone Cold. They don't really have to do too much stuff. They don't have 1,000 moves or 1,000 holds or whatsoever. But it's just that they have these 7 moves that they just do, but it's just the personality that they have. They shine, so people can really actually relate to them. And of course, it's what made the Attitude Era big is because of the stories. You always want to keep coming back for more to see the angles, to see what's going on. How the story develops. So I think that's a very, very beautiful part of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Sports entertainment. So you got to entertain the fans. Is always wanting the fans to remember what's going to happen and always keep coming back for more. Yeah.
Was that what you guys wanted to do since young?
I actually started watching pro wrestling because I was going through a period of school bullying in high school. I think I started watching it when I was 14. Then there was this MTV made that kind of series where they kind of do different weird stuff for kids, and I decided I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And I found out about SPW when I was in Polytechnic, and then started. Then yeah, it's been crazy fun.
So you started when you were 17.
Yeah, for the first class, it was when I was 17.
And
I
so
met him there.
and when you told your friends or your parents that okay, I'm gonna go wrestling, what was the first thing that came to their mind?
My friends were happy that there was some sort of self-defense coming for me, that sort of thing. But my parents and like my family members in general, they don't really like it. So he has some stories where he has interacted with my family before.
Your mom lah. Your mom's such a beautiful woman, I tell you that. I love her messages. Send my regards to Mama Lee, yeah.
Yeah, so my mom would message him and like try to convince, like my family would also like try to convince me to like stop wrestling and all that stuff.
So
I kept pretending that I was like going for judo, cause I did when I started in polytechnic, I was like, you know, those CCA, you kind of go try out different ones. So I signed up for a load of like CCAs, and then I was like just trying. So I was kind of doing judo a bit here and there. Then I kind of gave up to do pro wrestling.
I think at first, like, my parents thought I was joking. They like, oh, okay, sure, yeah. And then like the day came, they're like, hey, I'm gonna go down to check out their wrestling training. Then my dad's like, are you serious? Then like they were so mad. My dad wasn't happy with it. So
I think that's also because there's this perception that wrestling is not very serious. I mean, if you compare it to like MMA, or you compare it to other boxing or something, you know that's real. They really whack the hell out of each other. But wrestling, they think of it as to be a bit fake, a bit scripted. So in that sense, I guess people don't take wrestling as seriously.
My dad was more like they from their perspective, they saw wrestling as equally dangerous as MMA. Like if I told them that, like, cause my dad is a black belt in taekwondo, so if I told him like I'm gonna go, cause I did judo for a while as well. My parents were more supportive of me doing judo than wrestling, because they understand that there's some self-defense to it. Then they know that there's some value to it. But when I told them wrestling, they were more like concerned. They were like, oh. Then my mom was actually a closet wrestling fan as well. So she's familiar.
Mama Trexxus.
She's familiar with how violent it can get. You know.
Oh, let's just say, like, I mean, they've been through like they saw my injuries before, right? Like dislocated shoulder, neck almost got broken in India. I mean, like during the WWE Tryouts, and then on the day itself, I was doing a 5-minute match. I pulled my groin, and it was terrible, and I didn't know that I pulled my groin. And I still pushed through it. Only when I reached back to the hotel room, I went to the hotel. I went back to the toilet. My balls were like swollen like the size of grapefruit lah. But the thing is, I still pushed through it, and I still finished the match, right? You know that, right? So I mean, like for those people who think that pro wrestling is fake, no man, we are like really tough, like really push our body to the next limit, and our mental strength is really strong, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about entertaining the fans, and you know, letting the fans remember you for who you are. You're a wrestler. You need to have that fighting spirit in you, right? You don't stop until you like literally like concussed or pass. Oh, I got concussed before, right? You know, it was terrible, but I still push on. No hospitals, 15 minutes recovery, fine, all good.
It's cute how you went from like the other way around, because I watched WWE last time when I was young, and so that's why I know The Rock, I know Undertaker, and then that's about it.
Only two guys.
And someone else, I can't remember the name. But I
Kane,
remember watching
Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, okay. Once you say them, I know. I know them, yeah, but I can't remember off the top
Those
of
were
my
the
head.
days, like wrestlers.
And all these names you are saying, they're all like really over the top. You know, like Kane, Undertaker, they're all going. What is that?
But that was the fun thing,
It is a fun thing.
Yeah,
So,
it is the fun
so
thing.
is that what
No, I think, right, like for me, right, like my character is super over the top. Like I would just like exaggerate my movements. You see, like how the way I talk right now, right? Like even like my gear, like it's always so colorful. It's always bright. You know, it
So
stands out.
expensive
But
also.
that's the thing about pro wrestling, right? You have to look larger than life. You need to look unique. You need to be different. You can't be like the Trexxus, I want to wear the black pants. I want to be the Undertaker. But you can only be one Undertaker, right? You just be yourself. You know what I mean? So people can relate to you as well. Right? I mean, like, obviously, like you wear something, you wear pink, and you wear black. Obviously, you look at the guy who's wearing pink, right? Yeah. Just be different.
So did you all have to come up with your own like
Gear?
style, gear, even the personality? You know, did you have to bring it out somewhere?
Mine is pretty much just me.
Yeah,
Like,
How would you
yeah.
describe me?
It's just me being a childish, very vulgar person.
I think when we
Like
started
the
out, we had to workshop everything on our own. Like we had to
Yeah.
experiment what works, what doesn't work. When we started, because like when
were
we
the
when we joined, it
first.
was like still in the first year of SPW. So like we had to like kind of like try things out, if it worked or not worked. So it took us some time to kind of discover what character worked and what didn't. So now like when we have new wrestlers come in, we always tell them try to find a way to stand out, not just from SPW. If you want to succeed on the international basis, try to find a way to stand out from the international market. So like, for example, like for what Andrew said, you come in with black tights, you want to be the anti-hero badass, then people will think like, are you going to be as good as this anti-hero badass like The Rock or Steve Austin?
Also, we talk about building this character, looking the part and all, but you guys don't have the same resources as, other federations where they have weekly TV shows, and you guys only run shows like twice a month.
Twice a month.
So how do you
And
actually
then now
build
you
the-
mentioned as well, you guys haven't had any shows recently.
So how do you do it? How do you build something without all these resources that other federations have?
I think what's a good thing about SPW is that our production value is really good. Yeah, so it leaves
invest
people
in
coming back for more, wanting to watch the product, like good commentary, good camera angles here and there. It's all on YouTube. Yeah. And it's available for free, not $9.99 lah. But yeah, okay. So the good thing about SPW is also because we have a very, very strong relationship with international guests. So we brought down big stars from around the world, Kenny Omega. So we're really connected with all these international wrestlers. So that's why that's the reason why people want to come back for more. I mean, of course, in order for me to attract the mainstream fans, I have to bring down some mainstream guys so that they can watch our product, so they can eyeballs on my local guys. You get what I mean? Yeah, so it's good. I mean, I never look back. I mean, I think when we first started, it's only 60 or 80 people in attendance, and right now we have 500, 700, 1,000 people in attendance. So I think it's pretty good.
We still utilize social media as our outlets to deliver our promos and stuff. Although we have no control over how whether fans have to watch it to understand the match. End of the day, if the fans are interested in the product, the stories,
They will watch us. Yeah.
they will go and watch it themselves.
But
Can't force anything.
how much of it is actually scripted and storytelling? Because I tell you, when I was watching wrestling, when I first started watching, I think it took me a few years to realize that all this not real.
That's the beauty about pro wrestling. We can't tell you how much is real, how much is entertainment. My boys creative freedom as well. I mean, it's only of course I booked the main event picture because it's really important for business. Yeah.
So how detailed do you go? Do you go this is how long you have? Yeah, 10 minutes, you have to do these moves, and then she has to win at the end or something.
For me, not so, but as long as they try to stick within the timing you know what I mean? Because I don't want to control their creativity and stuff here and there. But I think nowadays, I think we should do it.
In the start, it was easier for us, I think, because we started out all pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
So it's we kind of dedicated who's doing what.
Yeah.
So that's good for us, but not so good for the new ones.
The new ones.
When there were lesser wrestlers, it was
Yeah,
easier.
it was so much easier.
The likelihood of having the same maneuvers, the same sequences is
Very
not
low.
not that high.
Correct.
But as we have more wrestlers, then that is when a team will come in, our team will come in, and then they will handle the production of the entire show, such that everything is different and there's a flow to it. Currently today, in order to enjoy wrestling, to watch wrestling, you could be able to suspend your disbelief.
Correct.
In order to enjoy the product. Paul Heyman once mentioned that you shouldn't cater to someone that doesn't want to try to enjoy wrestling. If someone doesn't want to even put in the effort to understand the product, don't bother at all.
Yeah.
Okay? If it's not for you,
That's really
fine.
true.
Back to your point about how to plan matches and stuff. Every match has a different story to tell.
Correct.
That's back to the point of producing a show. You try to aim every match is different. There could be 2 tag team matches, but both will tell different
stories.
stories. Yeah. So it's the same thing. You think about movies and stuff as well. Every movie has a flow. The good guy will show his strength. After that, he will go through some tough times. After that, he'll come back from it, and then the back and forth, the dramatic moments will come in.
And then it's all pure emotions,
Scott, why don't you bring us back to your first ever show then? What was that like? The very first time you did the show, you said there were
The
60.
Okay, let's talk about the 60-pack show. Alright, let's talk about my debut. Alright, I mean before they joined. Yeah, it was just at the CC. We just moved the ring, and we didn't even move the ring because we just no lighting, no nothing. 60 packs, just training matches and stuff. So I went against this guy who came to Singapore. He was a performer at USS.
What was he doing, Bumblebee or?
Oh lah, Water Works or something lah. Yeah, oh my god, Bumblebee.
I like how he's Bumblebee.
It's
then
nice,
kind
it's
of
nice,
running.
yeah. So I got my ass whooped lah. Obviously, I'm at the point of time I was only 53 kilos and he's
Yeah, he was
100
skinny,
plus kilos and stuff. Yeah, but I mean it's good lah. I mean it was a nice match, not too bad on YouTube. I mean we had positive comments and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I mean it's remarkable lah. From 60 right now, to see where SPW is at this stage is amazing lah.
So how did it get so cool then? From 60 to...
SPW, we always do by word of mouth. Like we do a lot of like YouTube promotion, Facebook promotion. It's like the product is real. I think like when people watch something that is real, they can relate to it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they're seeing guys like, you know, maybe like Alexis Lee. I mean, she doesn't look like a pro wrestler, like normal pro wrestler. You know what I mean, right? But she has the heart, and you know, like people can relate to how much heart you have. So, you know, they watch our product. And I always tell people, like, you know, you come to my product, you watch my show, I'm sure we become fans. And it's true. They come, just mainstream people, they come, they watch the product, they love it.
They enjoyed it.
And I think like what you mentioned in the beginning, where the audience, as long as your audience is the most important thing, they are entertained.
Yes, precisely. Yeah, precisely. The fans are so important. Like, right now, that's what I feel about pro wrestling now. I mean, like, you know, when you perform inside the ring, do training matches, when there's no audience watching, oh, it's not pro wrestling. For me. But for them, I don't know. But
It's
for me,
very different.
yeah, it's different. You know?
You cannot feed off and kind of like work to it.
What was the first time in the ring, like the official match?
I was nervous as the F word. By that point, I just started training officially for like 8 months. So it was like really crazy. I was the only girl in the whole match. I was going to wrestle 3 other guys. It was a 4-way match for the Breakthrough Junior Cup, which I still have at home.
So you won 3 guys?
Oh, I got my handed to me.
She got
Like,
brutalized.
in the start, I just got thrown out, and I just came in for the big finish, and I just like splashed them all. As in, like, I just pinned one, and then I just won. Yay! Then shortly after that, we also got like more media attention on us, which was like, it was a very worrying experience, because I mean, when we started out, we didn't think there was going to be so much media attention on us.
Correct.
And then like we got all these crazy great opportunities, no?
Yeah.
And she's saying this after she told y'all that she tried to hide this from her parents.
It's the funniest thing, cause like we came out on Straits Time, and then like I was like so nervous if they would find out from it, cause it's the Straits Time, man. But no, I was like, wow, lucky. Then the Chinese newspaper, the Lianhe Wanpao, they decided to do a short story on me, like cover me. Then my aunt saw it, and then she asked my mother if that was me, and that's how my mom knew. I was like,
Yeah, so what happened?
and my mom was like,
Peace.
kind of happy-ish. That, I mean, there was like, you know,
won a
her
cup.
daughter is on newspaper, but at the same time, she was like really pissed off because they miswrote my name, like throughout the whole article.
But,
It only came out correctly once. Like the rest of it was like all different names, you know. I was like, huh?
so the editor didn't do the job. Huh?
Yeah, it came out to like about like 10 different people in the one short later article. It was
This
like,
is
you know,
RP.
Yeah, in RP. So like the teachers were like kind of very cool and very interested about it. So they were like just like started doing wrestling stuff.
Oh, they're like, carry me.
At some point, yeah, I just carried on my teacher who was like almost twice my weight. Almost.
You must get a lot of that, like, you know, like, hey, carry me, or like yeah, kick me or something, and oh, you know.
I think it's the chop lah.
Oh, but it's actually quite common because like they want to know how it feels.
Given a lot of people chop.
I had to hide it from my parents.
Yeah, he had to hide it.
You hide your chops from your parents.
No, because he had marks on his chest.
What's it like though being the only girl in that match? I guess you were the first, you only go for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, for like very long time actually. It was great, but it was also like kind of scary because I mean all these guys progress so fast, and I was like playing catch up with them. It's every time it's crazy because I mean these guys are freaking awesome, right? And then like
What's new?
I don't think I'm there yet then. So it's like whenever I come out and like people will still cheer, it's like, oh my god, people do care. I was like, thank you.
My first match was actually like they needed to find an opponent for this Swiss wrestler who had been training much longer than I was.
Oh dear.
So I think that was when like Andrew gave me the opportunity to wrestle him. So that was my first match. I guess a lot of butterflies, like you can't avoid that. Right? Yeah. At the point of time, very focused on like nailing all the sequences instead of like interacting with the fans. You know, like you don't just worry that I hope I don't mess this up. Everything must be perfect.
Correct.
You know, so like compared to back then, compared to now, like it's always a lot of stress going to a match rather than enjoying the match. I think like towards like where we are right now, our more recent matches, like we're more like for me,
Relaxed.
yeah, for me like I try to
More
have
natural.
fun in the match. You know, like yeah, that's how far we've come.
It's not about doing the moves, about nailing the spots. You know, it's about how to make the sport look more interesting and how the fans can, you know, like connect with you because of
Yeah.
what you do.
Yeah, and I think
It's just like a performance in a sense.
It is.
it's where the
All the lighting is amazing.
entertainment comes from
Aspect,
sports
yep.
entertainment.
What's the review that you guys got that you thought after reading the review you thought, okay, we've made it, we are legit federation right now?
we got positive comments lah here and there.
And I guess you're always going to be referenced to the bigger federations like the AEWs and WWE.
Yeah, because
and
that's
so on.
what they always watch, right? No, but they don't understand, like, I mean, most people, especially for the mainstream fans, I feel they don't understand like the whole entire process. Like every big star starts from somewhere, somewhere small. You know what I mean? But we gotta like keep climbing, and the hustle is real, right?
You guys went quite big as well. I mean, you're traveling for other countries to wrestling in other countries.
How many countries do you wrestle in?
Over 10?
Over
So far,
10?
Yeah. I just like am fortunate because I mean between like both genders, like female and male wrestlers wise, like there are so much lesser female wrestlers compared to the guys. So definitely there are like more opportunities for like me, especially like with the women's revolution and all that. So I think I've been really fortunate with like use of social media, like getting my name out there. We have like a lot of international wrestlers too. It kind of gets more eyes on me. So I mean that's a very big opportunity in having me like in all these different countries. Like we are kind of regulars in like the Southeast Asia scene.
Yeah, of course,
we travel around Southeast Asia quite often. So like getting the opportunity to work like in other countries like in Australia, in America, and in France, it's just like crazy opportunities that just happen to come about, and like it's still crazy to me like we managed to do all this crazy you know. Okay, cause there's also like, you know, people who are like those really fake companies that kind of like try to hit you up for like free stuff on all that things. So you kind of have to learn to navigate through all this
Negotiate
and
lah.
like negotiate and
Yeah,
ask
in a
about
good
like
way.
for more information, because not every company can give you like information. Then you're like,
Yeah.
are you legit? Like I don't think you're legit. Then you're just giving me big names, but like what the hell?
You need to see like the production value as well lah. For me, I wrestle like 14 different countries: India, Japan, China, where else? China, Taiwan. Okay, and the list goes on and on. Right, Australia, yeah. Trexxus and me, we went to Japan. The few years
Oh
ago
dear
lah.
God.
Japan is one of those places whereby like wrestling is so huge. Like
Yeah.
they see it's very like there's a lot of tradition to pro wrestling, not like just like sumo wrestling or regular wrestling, but pro wrestling as well. It's like so traditional.
It's
like,
reported in the newspaper. It's
is, yeah.
They treat it as a legit sport. It is a legit sport. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, we thought like, you know, we might, you know, do a very good match, but apparently like somehow or other we didn't really do such a good match on the last day lah, and then we're feeling a little bit demoralized lah. So yeah, I mean like for us wrestlers, right, I think like a good gauge would be, you know, like the fans wanting to buy your merch as well lah, because it's like in a way it's like
Fans taking
support
photos
lah,
of
yeah,
them.
and photos as well lah. So we were very demoralized because how many merch did we sell?
none.
None. And that was like terrible.
That was
Terrible.
hard to say.
Yeah, it was it was very sad for us lah. But you know, it's okay. It was a learning lesson. The good thing, the comforting thing is that after we left the arena, we wanted to go back to the hotel to change, to have a good old nice bowl of Ichiran ramen. Some fam came out to us and like, hey, Trexxus statement. And they didn't come to us, so I heard them shouting at us. Yeah, but at least they remember us, right? That's the important thing. For us wrestlers, right? I mean like the product, I mean like the show, the pictures, the videos, it's like our portfolio. Yeah, you know, like funny stories, like sometimes, you know, I have like people messaging me, oh, I'm an MMA guy, I want to come and do pro wrestling training. And then like, you know, MMA obviously like you do a lot of
I
bumps
wish I
and
got
stuff,
those
right?
messages instead.
Then they do like the second rope bump, boom, then I'm like, oh, my neck hurts, I need to stop. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. MMA guy, well done.
So, what is your training like? I mean, apart from the physical side, which I know that all of you need, right? Do you guys do any kind of special training to become pro wrestler?
Definitely getting around the ring, like running the ropes is a very different thing. When you watch on TV, it seems so fun, like it's so bouncy. But when you're actually in the ring and hitting those ropes, damn, it hurts. I remember getting bruises from the ropes
Yeah,
early on
welts,
in our
right?
training. Yeah.
If you're having welts on
We're
your
like-
back,
we're like,
right?
wow, this
It means you're
is-
running right. You're pushing hard.
So as you train to do all the moves and all that, you also train how to fall and so on, how to take the moves.
Yeah, of course, that's
How to
very,
be
very
safe.
important. Like, how to be safe, like how to, you know, like make sure you don't injure your opponent, and of course like take the move well as well, like, make your opponent look good as well.
So it's I guess that's the key difference from other combat sports.
Yeah,
in
yes,
a
it's a
sense.
two-way
Yeah.
thing. You know, it's a two-way thing.
It's a very delicate
A match can
dance.
only be as good as, you know, if let's say the two persons inside the ring have chemistry together.
For our viewers, right, we never ever show them like the back end of wrestling. You know, like
Yes.
it's supposed to be viewed as a real sport. So like you can't imagine like MMA like they're like practicing how to talk on the microphone and stuff. Imagine that in MMA, right?
Just come out.
That's how we should see wrestling. We are catering to the fans as if they're watching a real like real thing, a real fight. But back end wise, like character wise, for me at least, like I would just watch old tapes, like see how wrestlers just basically do some homework, then see what works for myself lah. For others, I usually take things outside of wrestling as well, like from film,
Correct, right?
or even like
Comics also.
comics, cartoons, whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's still
It's like
storytelling.
inspiration from anywhere and
Or even
everywhere.
like the question is like like that. I mean, the answer is like like once a great wrestler told us before. Like, I mean, like he didn't tell us, but I mean, like great wrestler said that the best wrestlers are always their personality, but you just like marked up to 150%, 200%. So you just always got to be yourself inside the ring, so you feel most comfortable in it, right? Yeah. There's no point being someone you're not. Yeah.
So you've built quite an international rapport. So just as you've flown overseas, you've also flown in some international wrestlers. How did you build all these relationships from your 60 people beginnings?
I think it's because of international bookings lah. It's because of international bookings. So like for example, my very first encounter with an international star would be Ho Lun lah. So Ho Lun, owns HKWF. The most memorable one was like was wrestling on the show, and then I met Pete Dunne. So at that point of time, Pete Dunne wasn't very famous yet. He was just normal Pete Dunne lah. I remember like one of the events, we needed a wrestler. I wanted to book Tajri, but at that point of time Tajri was busy, so like, just try my luck. Just drop a good old Pete a message on Facebook Messenger, and then hi Pete, would you like to wrestle in Singapore? And then apparently his schedule is okay, and then here he is, he comes to Singapore for me.
Reload.
Reload. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. It's all about connections. It's about, being very real to your guests as well. So whenever my guest comes to Singapore, mark my words, like every one of them will say that I'm such a good host because I'll make sure that they have a great time in Singapore. Yeah, this is what you bring to the table. Like it's the real you lah. So so how I managed to bring Kenny Omega down is because like with my connections with Sima lah, because I booked Sima down in Singapore for like a couple of times, 4 times, 5 times. Funny thing is like I met Kenny Omega like I think 1 year ago at Comic Con. Yeah. So he remembers me.
So like this fanboy in Comic Con, and then it's like, oh,
Not really. Okay, but I mean, growing up, right, I noticed Kenny Omega. I watched his matches. Apparently, like he wrestled. The most famous match is him wrestling a doll, a sex doll, and it was so damn entertaining. I'm like, wow! If you can wrestle with a non-living object and you make the match look so good, means you're a fantastic wrestler. You're an entertainer. Yeah.
I don't think Kenny ever saw Andrew as like a fanboy lah. I don't think so. I think the moment he introduced himself as a wrestler, he says that he's a promoter, he definitely can empathize. Oh, okay, like we're technically colleagues in the industry lah.
Yeah.
So like he'll definitely like be curious about how is probably ask you
SPW,
how is Singapore like, wrestling in Singapore like. Then like he was like asking you like, so when's the next show? Like it's very like.
It's very professional.
Yeah. Like
right?
it's not like so like how long have you been watching WWE stuff, for example? It's like so
It's
when
not like a fan
We
thing,
are
right?
in the industry lah, but
Yeah.
like I don't know about some fans. Some fans might think like, hey, I don't know why like this Alexis Lee, Trexxus, and some of the SPW guys have special privileges
we
to
definitely
like
got those.
meet the other WWE wrestlers lah. But they have to understand that we are in the business.
industry.
compared to other federations, you're quite young, right? So how did you get this amount of
outreach,
outreach
I think
from the other federations?
It's really our networking.
Yeah,
right?
networking on social media.
production
Yeah,
value,
production, yeah.
marketing.
Like for me, I don't like just do like pro wrestling. I do like YouTube stuff. I work with a lot of like YouTubers around Singapore, and then I promote the sport as well. Whenever I go to like a bar or like some stuff, I'll just tell people I'm a pro wrestler. It's networking, what?
So it's a very young federation. You all got spotted by what the
WWE.
pinnacle of wrestling. That's like WWE. And
Yeah.
how did they even get their eyes on you guys, a small federation in a small country? Why were they? How did they even get to know of you guys and come all the way down and watch you guys for
That
tryouts?
must have been super exciting.
Yeah, because at the point of time, because the WWE Southeast Asia GM, the GM for WWE Southeast Asia. Asia Pac. He's based in Singapore. So apparently, like, you know, he got introduced by one of our sponsors to come and watch our show. He was very fascinated with our product. You know, he felt like, wow, it's you know, the quality of wrestling is good. So apparently, like, you know, he reported back up to the execs. At that point of time, the execs were not very interested in Singapore wrestling or Southeast Asia, but apparently, like, he kept pushing here and there, this and that, you know, showing stories, videos and stuff, and then they got very interested. That was in 2017, right? Yeah, 2017. Yeah, so apparently, like, a couple of us got scouted for talent. Yeah, and then somehow or rather decided to go with the Mae Young Classic instead of the Asia tournament. So
It went another direction.
yeah, we had to wait for like 2 more years or so, and then like finally like they came in 2019, right?
Yeah.
For the scouting, for the scouting and stuff, and then so like the 3 of us, you know, they were very, very skeptical as well. They were very, very picky as well. We had a training session with them, right? They were watching us when doing training. After that, they went to watch our show, and then they start picking and confirming the names that they want. Yeah, it was very, 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 very strict.
Okay, so what happened?
So the 3 of us, we got selected and we went to WWE Tryouts in China lah.
In China, alright.
Yeah. So we were the first 3 Singaporeans to represent Singapore in the WWE Tryouts, and that no one can take it away from us.
It was like a training camp. I mean, I honestly felt like it was such a fun experience. Like something that you didn't want to end. It was July, July. Yeah. So we go there, train, have lunch, go back, train again.
I think like the coaches say that they can see like a lot of talent in the Singaporean guys, like, you know, like we work hard, we can definitely work well on the ring. I can't say for the other wrestlers that I work with. It's terrible, but yeah, you know, like we are safe and we are good, and you know they can see our work rate lah. So in terms of the results, you know, we can't say too much as well. You know, we just gotta wait and see lah. We have no idea what, you know.
Right,
future holds
and
for us
all
lah.
of it was all started from you, Andrew, because you were like the pioneer in this.
Because he had a dream.
So what's the next step for you guys? Where do you see yourself next?
I would want to definitely give Japan a try, because like Japan's always been like this very big kind of like goal, but it's so scary also. Their training there is like intense and all that, so it's like it's just scary to kind of like see what they would think of like me. Like, I mean, I have experienced all these like kind of like successes and all that stuff, so it's like I have to step out of my comfort zone to do Japan, but at the same time the Europe scene do a bit more, and also America for sure.
We are so young still, but yet we've made this impact, and we gotta keep going lah. I just feel like we shouldn't stop, keep growing. After that, like there will come a time that we have more opportunities to work with ways to like showcase our content.
For me, it's like, of course, like to make SPW a more mainstream promotion in Singapore, on mainstream TV lah. But I don't know about them lah. For myself, my own goals is to make it a mainstream promotion lah. Doesn't matter whether WWE, AEW, Japan or whatsoever. But you know, this is something that I want to do. I want to make it like a professional career. In the meantime as well lah, I still can do double roles as to make sure like SPW is still going well and good lah. Of course, like giving opportunities to up and coming wrestlers to get the spot lah.
But I think at this point, it also depends on the goals of our wrestlers as well. Like, we don't assume that everyone wants to do it full time.
Correct.
Some people are contented with like I just want to wrestle in Singapore or as a side gig.
Yeah.
You know, some people might be contented with that. Some, you know, might want to go international.
Overseas.
Yeah, but I think at this point, right now, I would say like it's not feasible yet to do SPW full time. So what we do is that it's more like a side gig, but at the same time, there's still a lot of commitment that goes into it as well.
But the main thing is pro wrestling still. Like, no matter what, like if you have to do a show, okay, sorry, I need to take time off from work. I don't care. No pay leave, doesn't matter. Just come and do the work. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like, this is really our passion, so this was our main focus, even though it's not fully feasible until we get our name out there. So it's like you have to sacrifice some things in order like to fight for your dream.
Correct.
What would you say to people who want to, you know, follow in your footsteps and be pro wrestlers? Especially all those like Singaporean kids out there.
I think the first step, right, is to really, you know, just try, chase your dreams, you know, tell yourself, like, you always believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself before you can start believing in your dreams, whether you can achieve the dreams, right? Just never look back. You really just never look back. Just go all out.
If someone comes to you and says, well, guy or girl says to you, okay, I want to be part of the SPW roster, what is the kind of criteria you look at before you would accept them?
You have the right heart, right mindset. It doesn't matter how you look. You always want to like be willing to learn. That's very, very important. You know, like what they say, like, you know, it's sports entertainment, right? So people might think like, oh, this is fake and stuff. You need to look like a part of a wrestler as well.
It's a lot of physique as well.
Physics is important as well, yeah, but at least you need to, you know, start working out and all lah. You know what I mean? Yeah, to be slightly different lah. Like say, like if let's say you're not very big, at least you know maybe you have a good charisma, you know how to talk,
Extrovert.
you look good, you know, you have a nice face. You work to your strengths lah. You know, like maybe you are very fashionable, so maybe like your costume and stuff be very different. And work to your strengths. You know, you don't have to do like super flippy stuff. I mean, like some guys can, some guys can't. I can't do flippy stuff, but you know, I'm still the statement, and people still love me for who I am. You know, I mean, like Hulk Hogan, right? He doesn't need to do a moonsault to be Hulk Hogan, right? He just needs to do a leg drop, right? And people still knows him, right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, like I say many times, is how people remember you. That's the most important thing.
What would you say to yourself back then?
If you could talk to yourself now.
When you felt you the most uncool,
Alexis
the
first,
most down.
Alexis first.
Even though like the reason why I got into pro wrestling was like a negative thing, it's like I gotta be thankful for all that obstacles that has led me to follow down this path. Cause I mean, without all those struggles and all that like unhappiness that's bottling up inside me, I would not have turned to pro wrestling, and I would not have this like crazy awesome like past 8 years of my life.
I tell myself to just grab the opportunity when it arises before it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, like it's always take the first step first. You know, you'll figure out whether it's for you or not.
Correct.
And there's no harm in just trying. If you got the time, you know, got the passion, go away, try it out. Like, no harm in trying. If it's not for you, then at least you leave with an experience.
I think for me, it's like I'll be very proud of my secondary school self, because you know I still did like, I remember doing choreo practice. I still did like wrestling moves on some of my friends, and he said like I broke his back, but I mean, come on, it's not so easy to break someone's back. So yeah, it's just I mean, just go for what I want in life Then like don't let anyone stop you from chasing your dreams, or don't like people like laugh at you or whatsoever. I remember like even OCS as well, right? Like I had to like give a talk, right? And then they asked like, what do you see yourself in, I don't know, 5 to 10 years time? I want to be a pro wrestler. Everybody laughed at me, but hey, haha, I'm laughing at you right now, guys. Look, I'm living my dreams, right? I wrestle like
champion.
all-time world. I mean, I will hang out with like all-time world champions. I hang out with good people, you know, people who always are forever young, and you know, we'll always, you know, let the fans in Singapore remember who we are. So yeah,
That's true. You might be one of the few who actually went on to do what you said you wanted to do.
of course, yeah. I think like the most important thing is to just believe in yourself, believe in that product. Because die, you have to just tell yourself that this product is something, it's going to be big in the near future. You really just got to like always be thinking like even bigger of how you're going to bring your baby to the next level and step. And of course, it does help, of course, to be financially stable as well, to get good savings before you start doing your business. Yeah. And just don't look back. Just always believe in yourself. Just tell yourself that, is this really something that you want to do? And just gotta go for it. Yeah, and just always be real. Always be real at what you do, because people can realize how real you are. Yeah.
And for yourself as well, since you're one of the founders, how much for you is sports entertainment, and how much is business running this federation?
Wow, that's a tough question. I think it's 50-50. Really, it is 50-50. Because I feel that the business aspect is very, very important as well. Because if I don't put the brand out there, I don't make money for my brand, I won't be able to pay my wrestlers as well. You know what I mean, right? And entertainment is important too, but I still have to support the promotion, make the promotion still, financially stable and stuff, to keep continuing what I do. Sometimes I don't mind taking a step back, just being a promoter and just giving opportunities for my other talent. But they have to be really the face of SPW to know how to promote the brand. And help put SPW in the mainstream.
And now, of course, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Hopefully, towards the tail end. What's next for SPW?
I think we've just been really enjoying our time with our loved ones. Cause before that, we were just traveling so much. We were so packed with a lot of things. So now it's we get to take a step back, chill, kind of take a breather, reevaluate our life choices, and still agree that pro wrestling is still awesome.
Yes.
So yay, okay, correct decision. Didn't waste all that time.
I think I speak on behalf of all the active members of our roster. I think we've definitely went back to watch our old matches during this whole time. And as we watch these matches and think about the next possible time we will have an event again, I think our fire is going to
Reignite.
constantly reignite, come back. The flame will be bigger than ever once we return.
So, Trexxus, you were saying about trying out. Why don't you let our listeners know if they want to try out wrestling in a, let's say, in a recreational way and not in a professional way? How can they do it?
Look for us on Facebook. Okay, search up SPW Singapore Pro Wrestling. Drop us a message. Let us know if you're interested, and we'll work out a tryout class for you.
Yeah, complimentary. And now on YouTube as well. Yeah, be entertained by our matches. Trust me, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be worth your time. Yeah.
And how about your own socials, your own handles?
Alexis_Lee.
You can find me on Facebook, Andrew Tang, ANDRUEW space TANG, and for Instagram is DN Statement, THEANDSTATEMENT.
Facebook and Twitter at Trexxus, and on Instagram at Kaiser_Trexxus.
Thank you to The Statement, Trexxus and Alexis from SPW for being on Uncool. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe to The Uncool or rate us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Just search for Freelance Creative Exchange and you can find more episodes of The Uncool or others in our series. And then you click follow.
Also, share with us and celebrate the uncool moments by going to any social media platforms and using the hashtag FCEUncool.
We want to hear from you, and remember, it's cool to be uncool.